Hello and welcome to round 7 of the Spec Esports 2010 Classic Car Series. My name is Lachlan and I'll be your commentator for today's race. We are located in Budapest for the Hungarian Grand Prix. This 4.381 kilometer circuit has a total of 14 corners, 5 to the left and 8 to the right. The Hungarian Ring is the third shortest track on the 2019 calendar and the second slowest after Monaco. The twist layout of the circuit makes it difficult for the drivers to overtake. Lewis Hamilton has enjoyed the most top step finishes at the Hungarian Grand Prix with a total of 7 victories to his name, and McLaren have the most wins out of any other team around the Hungarian Ring with a total of 11 in its 28 years of running. Okay, so we're going to have a quick look now at your championship standings. As you can see, Useless as a Cat currently leads away on 96 points ahead of Plebs in the McLaren on 91, so there's 5 points between our two leaders at the moment in the Ferrari and the McLaren. Then we have the reserve driver of F1 Amazing Hour, who does not race in this league anymore, so Sideshow Prod is technically in third at the moment for Braun. He is sitting on 54 points, I think that says. 49 points has CRZ Footings next to his name, but unfortunately he doesn't race in this league anymore, so same as Scarsouls. John Polainen, I think that's 46 points for John Polainen. He's sitting in around P4, I do believe. Purple Haze is in P8, P9 is LAS Chucky, and then rounding out the top 10 is Hyper Toasters, one of our reserve drivers. Then Tommy 25 is sitting in 11th, Corte Cruz in 12th, 13th is LAS F1 Skid, Alpum Tick, I never get that right, Alpum, I'm just going to say that, P14, Aaron in P15, 16th is Sergeant Cardi, 17th Dougie Falcons, 18th Crackerjack, P9, 19 is MJ Coleman, and rounding out top 20 will be Floggle Woggles, and then 21st will be The Rock, one of our reserve drivers, Felipe in P22 for Ferrari, and then 23rd will be Aussie Suspect. McLaren lead the way by a pretty hefty margin at the moment, on 253 points, ahead of Braun on 148. Ferrari are currently sitting on 106 points, sitting in P3 at the moment, and then it will be Red Bull in P4. We're just waiting for the drivers now to head over into their 18-minute qualifying session. If you have another quick look here at the drivers' table. We're going to swap over to the main screen now. You can see the drivers are heading out, or their 18-minute qualifying session has officially begun. Bring up all the telemetry for you guys. And here it is, as you can see. I do believe, I'm actually going to have a look. That's Sideshow Prod now heading out of the pits. He's definitely going to want to watch. He's been very excited, I should say, for the Hungarian Grand Prix. He does enjoy these 2010 classic cars, so he'll definitely be one to watch. As he now heads out of the pit lane for his qualifying session. The majority of these drivers will be doing around 2, maybe even 3 laps on these dry tyres. And there's only one set of one set of dry tyres and one set of wet tyre compounds for the drivers to use. Compounds. Yeah, so there's one dry compound and one wet compound. That probably makes a bit more sense, but anyway. There's a lot of drivers out in the on track at the moment, so we'll try and find a driver that is about to start their fast lap, and that's actually Felipe. Actually, no, he might be on an out lap, but I think TSR Verstappen 33 will be the first driver to start a lap here for the qualifying session. No DRS available to these cars, considering it wasn't actually introduced, I do believe, until 2015. Don't quote me on that, because I know I definitely got that wrong. He gets to turn 1 though, does TSR Verstappen, gets a pretty bad mid-corner run, considering he did run pretty wide and pretty deep into the corner. Through turn 2 he goes. gets on the gas a bit early though, so that's definitely pushed him wide. And that's going to cost him down the straight. Into turn 5 he heads. Very easy to spin the car around if you hit that inside curb. I've definitely learned that the hard way a lot of the times. Heading into the chicane now. You don't want to mount that first curb, but you can mount that second one. Now you want to normally run it out right on the curb to maximize the amount of maximize the amount of track you are given. Pretty very average lap here from TSR Verstappen. I think it's probably just one of his bankers just trying to make sure he gets a decent lap in. But he will be the first of the drivers to set a lap. Very deep into the penultimate corner, so this is definitely not going to be one of his ideal laps. He's going to come across the line now. No DRS available, as I said before. He's going to set a 1 minute 22.6. Now we're going to find another driver that is in the final sector. That's Sideshow Prod now. He's going to be coming to the final sector. Flogger Woggles goes fastest on a 19.5, so that's a few seconds faster than anyone else. Purple Haze now goes faster with an 18.5. What will Sideshow Prod be able to do? He's going to come across the line now. And I think he actually invalidated his time there because he didn't actually set an official lap, so I think he invalidated his lap time there, so he's going to have to go again. Will Sideshow. But Purple Haze currently sits on provisional pole at the moment with 18.5 out of Flogger Woggles in P2. Alex 96 NZ comes home P3 as it stands with 14 minutes remaining in this session. Yellow flag in sector 2. I think that's just drivers getting out of the way. Now who's that? That's actually, that was a driver that just spun around. That was actually TSR Verstappen that's had an incident there at the exit of turn 5. That's actually P. Crichton. I didn't even know he was racing this, but okay. P. Crichton is in P2 at the moment. Definitely going to have to ride on board with Sideshow because he still has a lap he has to complete. He's heading through the middle sector now. He's got TSR Verstappen in front of him, so hopefully he gets out of the way. He's actually not getting out of the way here as TSR Verstappen, so this is actually going to affect Sideshow a bit here. He got out of the way too late, but anyway. Sideshow definitely won't be happy with that. Sergeant Cardi is now going off to P5 for Red Bull. Felipe in P6 for Ferrari. All of them kind of look like keyboard users, in a way, yeah. Very hard to control these 2010 cars, especially when you do a lot of 2019 driving, I should say. 2019 car driving. No, I actually had no idea P. Crichton was racing, so... Comes into the pits though, he does the Brawn driver. But currently it is Purple Haze that is sitting on pole position. That's actually Plez that just crossed the line there. He completes his first lap. He moves himself up into P4 for McLaren. He will be going again though because the majority of the drivers will do 2 laps, I think, on these dry tyres. So they don't wear out very quick. Sergeant Cardi for Red Bull comes through the penultimate corner, gets a lot of oversteer, but he does come into the pits. John Polina now sitting MP40 at the moment, unfortunately. So far I should say Rogue, Flash, LAS, Chucky, Sideshow, and John Polina and Alpoom have all not set a lap yet. I think John Polinen's actually coming in. No, Sideshow's coming into the pits now. He did not get a lap in on that dry set. He did get blocked a few times, I think, as well. So it's unfortunate for him. That's John Polinen now actually having a mistake through the penultimate corner. So that's going to screw his lap up. So he's going to have to try and either go again or put on another set of dry tyres. But he's just going to go again, I think. Heads to the final corner. He goes. Purple Haze is out on his second lap now. That's LAS Chucky on a flying lap. That's same with Alex 96 NZ. P. Crichton is now exiting the pit lane. Currently, as it stands, with 11 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, Purple Haze sits on provisional pole position for Red Bull. P. Crichton sitting in P2 for Brawn. P3 is Flogger Woggle, so I do believe is in a Ferrari. Don't quote me on that. Plebs for McLaren in P4. The 2 LAS F1 drivers of Skid and Loic are in P5 and 6. Sergeant Cardi in P7 for Red Bull. P8 will be Felipe. P9 will be Alex. And rounding out top 10 so far is TSR Verstappen. Last of the drivers to set a lap as it stands. Rogue Flash, LES Chucky, Sideshow, Jump Line and Alpum have all failed to set a lap so far. 10 minutes remain in this session. Looks like Purple Haze is about to start another lap. So we're going to run on board with our current provisional pole sitter. Show us how to do a lap of the Hungarian. No DRS available. He's going to be doing it in the Red Bull. The one obviously Sebastian Vettel won in. Heading into turn 1 now, very deep under brakes. Probably a little bit too deep than I think he would have liked to. That made him, or forced him to pick up the accelerator a bit later than I think he would have liked to. Heading into turn 2 now, very long left-hander. Gets it pulled up nicely and on the gas very quickly as well. So that's going to definitely pull him along this straight. He's currently got 0.5 of a second between anyone else at the moment. Into turn 5 he goes. Just clips that apex very nicely. Doesn't use all the track on exit though. Heading into the chicane now. Break of the 50 meter board. Gets it turned in very nicely. Mounts that second curb. Using all the curb on entry. Runs it out nice and wide there. Does Purple Haze. Print a relatively clean lap here from the Red Bull driver. Break the 50 meter board, gets it turned in very nicely. Heading into the penultimate corner now, gets a bit of understeer and oversteer on exit of that previous corner. Very long left-hander here. You got to be as patient as possible on the accelerator, but he actually comes in the pits. So I'm not too sure what's happened there, but now Alpum has now gone fastest in the Braun car with an 18.3. So he's gone 2/10 quicker than Purple Haze at the moment. So Sideshow's also starting a lap now, so it's only Rogue Flash is actually in the wall now on the exit of the chicane. He's now put it in the wall, so he could potentially have front wing damage. Doesn't look like it, but it definitely could have it. Jumper Line is now coming to pits. He still has yet to set a lap. There's 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this session. Let me know in the comment section who you think is going to qualify on pole position. That's Plevs now. I do believe he is honest. He's starting a lap now. Is the McLaren driver of Plevs. We're right on board with him as he comes through turn 1. Gets it turned in very nicely though. Gets a nice late apex going. Down this short mini straight. One of 2 DRS zones available on the Hungarian, but obviously not available in these 2010 spec cars. Gets through turn 4 very nicely. Very easy to use too much curb through turn 4 and run it out wide on the exit. He's actually backed out of this lap, so I think he may have invalidated his lap time through turn 4 there. Now the 3 LAS drivers have now got themselves into P6, 7 and 8. I do believe they are all in Red Bulls. Now Felipe's actually split them. He goes into P7 now, does the Ferrari driver. Who was that that's actually spun around there? That was Floggle Woggles for Braun. He nearly got in the way of Sideshow Prod there. He definitely wouldn't have been happy. Would have Sideshow Prod if he got blocked on that lap. He needs to set a lap because he's yet to set a lap with 6 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the session. Runs a little bit wide there on the penultimate corner there. Does Sideshow. He's coming to the final corner now. Where's this going to move him up into? Through the final corner. I don't know if that was very close to being invalidated, but he moves himself up into P5. Does Sideshow Prod. Pete's actually now gone into P2 for Braun. A lot of understeer there from Alpine. I'm not too sure if he's just turning it that much or... I think he's mucking around, but anyway. 5 minutes, just under 6 minutes I should say, remaining in the session. Purple Haze is on a lap. He's coming through the middle sector now. In that Red Bull. This will be his... This is a new set of tyres as well. He has on that Red Bull. Turns in a little bit narrow into that corner, but anyway. Manages to pull it up still. Through the penultimate corner, runs a bit wide, and he now comes in the pits. Everyone seems to be coming into the pits whenever I commentate through that final sector, but anyway. Plebs, I think, has just set another lap. He was 5/10 quicker. He's actually now jumped himself ahead of Sideshow Prod into P5. There's LAS F1 Skid heading through the second sector now. He goes. There's 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Both the LAS drivers are out on a lap as you can see. Loic's actually backed off though. He's run really deep though, has Skid. That's definitely going to cost him a little bit of time. Final corner he goes. Does Skid. Going to come across the line now. Les is going to move him up into... He unfortunately did not improve on the lap, but now his teammate is going to be behind him, so he's probably trying to give him a bit of a tow at the moment. Is Skid, unless he actually is going again for another lap. Sergeant Cardi is on an out lap. Trying to get some brake temperature into that car. See, Alex looks like he's about to start a lap as well. Pretty close between the front three drivers at the moment. 2/10 between the front three. 4 between the top 4. This could be tight as it comes to 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the session. Could be anyone's race here. Heads into turn 2, does Alex. Gets to the apex nicely. Short shifts into third. A bit late, or cautious I should say, on the accelerator bit. Turn 4 he goes, runs wide, and that's going to definitely invalidate his lap time now. I'm pretty sure it has invalidated. Lap time? No, maybe not. Might still be able to keep going, but... Heads into the chicane now. He does have a car behind it, I'm pretty sure, but... Unfortunately, he can't look back in the spectator view. Heading into the final sector, he goes now. Really wide through the penultimate corner, so that's definitely going to cost him. Will he come into the pits? No, he's going to go again for another lap, or he's going to try and finish this lap. I think he's actually starting another lap now, is Alex. Majority of drivers are out on a lap. P. Crichton is now on a lap as well. Heading into turn 4, he goes as yellow flags. I'm not too sure that's what gets turn 4. Pretty nicely done. It's a Red Bull of LAS F1 Loic, who spun around, and that's the provisional pole sitter at the moment of Alpum, who just got out of the way of P. Crichton. Chucky is now retired from the session, so he doesn't think that he will get any better time in the session, or he's just crashed, if anything. There's yellow flag in sector 3, coming up to where Pete Crichton is heading. Brake just before the 50-meter ball, gets turned in very nicely there. Bit late on the gas, so it's very easy to lose the rear in these classic cars. Final corner, he negotiates. He's going to come across the line now. It does Pete Crichton. Will he be able to go to pole position? He's actually slower on that lap. He was 6/100th of a second slower. So he's going to have to go again. Will P. Crichton, Alpum, is actually coming to pits now, so I'm not too sure if he improved or not on his previous time. Purple Haze is starting a lap now as well. Rogue Flash, I do believe, is on a lap. He was 6/100th of a second faster or up on his time, so that's definitely not going to be enough. He's going to have to improve a little bit more if he wants to get up to pole position. So the majority of drivers are out on track at the moment. There's 40 seconds remaining in the session. He's going to come across the line now. He's actually slower here. He's a 10th down on that lap, so he's going to have to go again. Plebs is also on a lap. So is Sideshow. What's he going to be able to do? Is he going to come across the line? He's going to move himself up into P4. Is the Brawn driver. Nice job from him. Rogue Flash is on a lap as well. As I pointed out, Plebs is also... The majority of drivers are on a lap as it stands. Try and find a driver that is at the end of the lap. Is that Sergeant Cardi now? He's coming into the pits. That's actually, you can see Floggle Woggles there, who's done what I said that it's very easy to do. If you hit that inside curb there of turn 5, it is super easy to lose the rear. I don't know why he's reversing, because he could potentially run into another car. But now Pete Crine has gone fastest to pole position. He's gone with a 1 minute 18 flat, 2/10 faster than Alpoom, who's unfortunately finished the session, so he's not going to be able to improve at all. Purple Haze is now coming to the pits. Sideshow has now got another lap going, but it looks like he's actually slower by 2/100ths of a second. Plebs has now gone up into P3 for McLaren. So the top 3 have now all finished their session, same as Purple Haze. Sideshow is now 2/10 faster. As you can see, he's gained a lot through this final sector. Where's this going to move him up to? Through the final corner, he has to negotiate, runs a bit wide. That's definitely going to cost him very marginally. He's going to come across the line now, does Sideshow. He's going to move himself up into P3 for the Brawn team. Nice job from him. But it looks like that's going to be the grid here for this afternoon's 2010 Classic Series. P. Crichton takes pole position ahead of Alpoom in P2. Sideshow Prod's going to come home P3. And that's your top 3 in your qualifying session here for this afternoon's 2010 Spec Esports 2010 Classic Series. As you can see now, the provisional results on your screen. Pete Crichton took our pole position with an 18 flat, 1/10 faster. 1/10 of a second faster than Alpoom. Sideshow Prod came home P3 ahead of Plebs in P4. Those two are going to be starting on the second row. The third row will be occupied by Purple Haze and Rogue Flash. P7 is LAS Chucky, and Flogger Woggles will be joining him alongside. Felipe came home P9, and Renier, your top 10, will be the second of the LAS drivers of Skid. Then Loic, his teammate, will come home B11, Sergeant Cardi 12, 13, John Paline, and Alex will come home 14th, and Renier, the back of the grid, will be TSR Verstappen. We're going to let the drivers now head over to the grid for the Hungarian Grand Prix. As you can see on your screens now, the drivers are heading out for their formation lap for the Hungarian Grand Prix. 35 laps these drivers will have to do to make it to the end. 50% race, obviously. But it was Pete Crichton that took out pole position ahead of Alpoom in P2. It's actually a Brawn 1, 2, 3, so that's very interesting. That Brawn have occupied the first 3 positions. It's nothing new. They normally do, but anyway. Plebs is going to come home P4. Well, he's going to qualify P4, I should say, for McLaren. P5 will be the Red Bull behind him of Purple Haze. Rogue Flash and the Brawn P6. P7 is LAS Chucky. P8 is Flogger Woggles. P9 Felipe and Renier. Top 10 will be the Red Bull of LAS F1 Skid. And that's actually one of the Brawn cars I think just got removed from the formation lap. It's actually Pete Crichton, so I'm not too sure what he just did there. But anyway, then it is LAS F1 Skid in P10. 11 will be Loic, Sargent Cardi P12, John Polainen P13, and then Alex will round out your top 14. And at the rear of the grid will be the McLaren of TSR Verstappen, 33 in P15. Let me know in the comments your predictions. Your top 3 predictions, we'll say that. Top 3 predictions for the Hungarian Grand Prix. If you guys are new around here, please do subscribe to the channel. We are, as it stands, I think it's 3 subscribers away from 300 subscribers, so that would be a massive achievement for the Spec Esports League. If you guys are wanting to sign up as well, there is a link in the description below. I'll get a bit more into that when we get into the race, further into the race. Anyway, waiting for the light sequence to begin. As you can see, there are 4 lights, and there are now 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And the lights are out, and they are underway. Pete Grind gets a pretty nice start, but it actually looked like Alpine got a better start. He's going to go side by side. It looks like Sideshow now is actually leading the Grand Prix. So they're going 4 wide into turn 1 at the back, and that's actually Flogger Woggles that has hit Sideshow, hitting into turn 1. Flogger Woggles ran way too deep on the entry of turn 1, and that was actually, I do believe that was Pete Crichton. It was Pete Crichton that lost the rear traction of the car. Now he's dropped all the way back down to P11, P9 now actually. So Flogger Woggles definitely hit Sideshow Prod there on the entry of turn 1. Now he's got Alpoon to deal with. Has Flogger Woggles, he's ran really wide though, heading into the first sector. Sorry, heading into the second sector I should say. It's very tight between these 3 so far. Plebs has now managed to get into P4. There's a yellow flag back here, I do believe. So it looks like TSR Verstappen has had a little bit of an incident potentially with Felipe. Flogger Woggles still leads away at the moment after making that little bit of contact with Sideshow. Will he dive down the inside? Well, Alpine, he doesn't. But Sideshow's right there as well. He'll be trying to make a move as well. He's trying to go around the outside as Alpine. He's going to try and make the move still. We're going to ride on board with Sideshow because he's got the best view of it. He goes side by side into the final corner, and Alpine manages to take the lead back on the Grand Prix ahead of Flogger Woggles. Now Plebs is now having a little battle with Purple Haze as well. Will he try and make a move down the inside, heading into turn 1? He defends the inside line. Nicely there does Plebs. Doesn't look like he'll get a move done, but now Sideshow is under pressure from Flogger Woggles, and he's gone around the outside. Has Sideshow Pride into P2. He's actually run really deep there though, Sideshow. Will that cost him on the exit here? It looks like he will have better traction still somehow. Then Flogger Woggles, but he's run really wide though. On exit, will he be able to make a move around the outside? Flogger Woggles heading into turn 4. He manages to keep the position though. Nice job there to Sideshow Prod. He's going to have to try it. He's moved up 1 position so far. He started P3, but Flogger Woggles has started P5, and he is into P3. So he didn't start P5. He's moved up 5 positions, I should say. That's actually Flogger Woggles there making an accident. Sorry, a little bit of an incident there. And he's spun around now, has Flogger Woggles. He's going to be dropping down massive positions. Plebs has now moved up into P3 for McLaren. Purple Haze now has currently got a Red Bull train behind him of the 3 LAS drivers. And then John Polainen and then the McLaren. All these drivers are really close to each other. We're going to set this over to leader to see. There's 8 seconds between the top 11 at the moment. Now that's Road Flash going down the inside of Skid. He manages to move himself up into P8. Massive battles going on at the moment. Plebs now goes fastest with the 22-1, I do believe that said. No moves into turn 1 by the looks of it. That was actually Road Flash running very wide there. Now that's going to give Skid the better run down on the exit of turn 1. He gets the move back into P8. He goes. Will he dive back down the inside? He tries to make the move down. Forces his way up the inside. Does Road Flash. You're going to be side by side on the exit of turn 3, sorry. Heading into turn 4. There you go. Going to be side by side, but it looks like the Brawn driver of Road Flash will have the better momentum. But he runs really wide though. Will this bring the Red Bull even closer? Doesn't look like it. Sargent Cardi and Pete Crichton. I think Pete's actually made a pit stop here. I'm going to have a look. It has. So Pete Crichton, Alex, Flogger Woggles, Felipe and TSR Verstappen have all made pit stops so far in this Grand Prix. So if any drivers out of the top 10 at the moment have all made pit stops. as it stands, that's actually Loic running onto the grass there, just mowing the grass a little bit there. But as you can see, that's Alpin pulling away massively from Sideshow Prod. MP2, he's got Plebs right behind him, and Purple Haze. Alpin goes fast with the 21-1. Definitely pulling away from this little battle pack here. Then there's another little gap between the LAS driver of Loic and his teammate Chucky are going at it in the two Red Bulls. John Polainen's moved himself up into P7. He's up 6 positions. So is Loic. P. Crichton now goes past us with a 20.3. Down in P11 at the moment. First of the drivers to make a pit stop. And that's actually now Loic that has spun around on the exit of the chicane. So now he's actually just come straight back out on circuit. Luckily ghosting's a thing, because I think he actually would have hit his teammate there. He's going to have really hot rear tyres now. Here's Loic. Anyway, it's still yellow flag in sector 2. We're going to have a look to see what that was for. That was actually there. Felipe that has unfortunately spun around. Down in P14. He's going to have TSR Verstappen right behind him. Alpine just still edging away at that gap between him and Sideshow. Sideshow's got a little bit of a gap now on Plebs behind him. Purple Haze has fallen off that battle pack as well. He's going to start to fall into the hands of Chucky behind him. John Polainen is now MP6. He's moved up 7 positions, the most out of any other driver, so he's looking good for contention of driver of the day. Michael's put in our first prediction. He thinks Alpine's going to win the race ahead of Purple Haze. And Plebs will come home P3, so doesn't seem to believe in Sideshow too much by the looks of it, but anyway. So Plebs and Sideshow are currently the closest battle on track at the moment. Chucky's now somewhat caught back up to the rear of Plebs. P. Crichton still going fastest. Down in P11 at the moment. He set a 20.23. I do believe the lap before he actually set a 2.33 or something like that. It was pretty close to that time. So yeah, definitely the closest battle on track at the moment is definitely between Sideshow, Plebs, and Purple Haze. He is within a second, is Plebs, but unfortunately there's no DRS available in this era of Formula 1. Felipe now has unfortunately left the session. So I don't know what's happened with him. Actually, I think he's actually retired that on. We just haven't seen it. So that's unfortunate there for the Ferrari driver, Felipe. I must have just completely missed it, to be honest. But Purple Haze is still right on the rear of Plebs. It's 4/10 of a second between them. Chucky now has a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cutting warnings. Yellow flag in sector 2. What's that for? That's actually Sergeant Cardi, wasn't it? No, that was actually LSA last F1 Loic that has spun around on the exit of turn 5. Wouldn't be surprised if he did head that curb. He's actually struggling to get heat. He's got a lot of heat in those rear tyres at the moment. PSR Verstappen is now retired from the session. Could we potentially see a safety car? I hope there's a safety car. I'm not too sure if it's on, actually. I don't actually think I've ever seen a safety car in this 2010 Classic Series. It'd be good to see one. There's a bunch of everyone back up. But Plebs is still feeling that pressure from Purple Haze. Sideshow is a little bit too far ahead at the moment to allow Plebs to make a move. But he's still right there, is Purple Haze. Say these cars will be better in certain sections. This is unrealistic cars as well, but they're all relatively the same. I'd say, if I had to be honest, the Brawn might have a slight bit of an advantage over the other cars, but definitely, as you can see there, I think Sideshow actually made a mistake through the second sector, so now that's edged Plebs a little bit closer. But as you see, McLaren definitely seems to be quicker through that middle section, and then through the first and second sector, it looks like Purple Haze is quicker. It looks like he is better under brakes as well. He's a Red Bull driver. Rogue Flash is caught up to John Polainen now. Alpine now has got a 5-second lead between him and Sideshow Prod. Alex also got a 3-second time penalty as well. I forgot to read that out. Now Verstappen's left the session. So we've had 2 retirements so far in this Grand Prix. 26 laps remain, including this one. Plebs has now got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so he's not going to be happy with that. Rogue Flash is still right on the rear of John Polainen. So I'm not too sure if there's any rain scheduled either. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell you that. It'd be good if it could tell you that, but anyway. Yellow flag in sector 2. What's that for? That's Sergeant Cardi now has had an incident at the exit of the chicane, turn 6 and 7. Through 10-10, Sergeant Cardi goes. Loic's a little bit too far behind at the moment to make a move or capitalise on Sergeant Cardi's mistake. "25 laps remain as they are now on lap 10. Rogue Fishers now, Flash I should say, has now got a move done on John Polainen. Peak Run still going fastest, sitting down in P9 at the moment. He'll definitely be one to watch considering he is on a fresh set of tyres. I'm not too sure if he'll have to make another pit stop or not. Sergeant Cardi is now in the pit lane for Red Bull, but he does have a nose change he has to do. He's definitely struggling, a bit difficult here for Purple Haze, considering the section that Purple Haze needs to be close to Plebs is where Plebs is arguably faster than him, or the car I should say is a bit faster than him. I feel like Purple Haze is a bit better through the third sector and the first sector, but Plebs just has that much more of an advantage through the second sector. It's allowing him to stay ahead. That's why we need a safety car at the moment, to edge everyone back a little bit closer to bring back the racing. This is definitely the tightest or closest battle on track at the moment for the battle of P2 between Sideshow, Prod, Plebs and Purple Haze. Sideshow started to pull a little bit of a gap now. 2 Plebs in front of him. P. Crichton now moved himself into the 1 minute 19s. He set a 19.8 there. Did P. Crichton. Sideshow Prod now has a 3-second time penalty, setting MP2 at the moment. Anyway, as you can see on your scenes now, as I said at the start of the race, Season 2 Regional Series sign-up is now available to all drivers. Pre-season trials will be on Tuesday, which is 3 days away, I should say, in Australian time. So if you're wanting to sign up for Season 2 of the Race Spec F1 Esports Regional Series, which includes the Pacific Series, European Series and America Series, there's a link in the description for you to sign up below, as well if you want to join the F2 Sprint Series, which was previously just on, or this series, the 2010 Classic Series. The link is in the description to sign up. I think you need to sign up for the Regional Series, and then it will ask you if you want to race the 2010 Classic Series and the F2 with it. Now Purple Haze has dropped off a little bit to the rear of Plebs. I think Sideshow is now starting to feel a bit of tyre wear on that Brawn car. He now heads into the final sector. Does Sideshow Prod. Alex is now retired from the session, so we're going to ride on board with Sergeant Cardi to see what's actually happened there to Alex. Sector 1 and Sector 2. He's actually getting out of the way now of the race leader of Alperm. Let's see where the yellow flags are. Hopefully his car doesn't disappear before we get to see what happened. Woggle Woggles is now retired from the session. So that's a yellow flag in Sector 2. So now P. Crichton's still going fastest down in P9 at the moment. Pushing those sides very hard. Sideshow definitely seems to be struggling a bit more now on those tyres. Plebs seems to be catching up a little bit each lap to him. So we're on lap 13 now. We're going to start to see some strategy come into this. P. Crichton now down in P9 has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cutting warnings. So I'm assuming that was at that chicane there that he just went through. Alpin still leads away. He's still edging. More of a gap on Sideshow Prod behind him and Plebs. Sergeant Cardi is now getting lapped as well by our race leaders. Doesn't really have to get out of the way, but that's actually now Purple Haze had a massive hang slapper there going through the chicane. He doesn't actually have to get out of the way to Sergeant Cardi because he can just go through. I'm sure the drivers would like him to get out of the way still, but anyway, no DRS available on this either, so it doesn't really gain an advantage. We have had 4 retirements from this session so far. P. Crichton now still going fastest at the bottom, and as you can see at the bottom of your screen, he's still sitting in P9 at the moment, but he won't most likely go fast or past anyone. He might actually catch up to Skid here, but he won't really be able to make any moves until the pit stops happen. Just gonna have a look here. There's 26 seconds between our race leader and P. Crichton, so at that stage I do believe he will come out in the lead. Well, it might be close, I should say. I think it's around 25 seconds down the pit lane. Runs very deep there, does Alpine. Making a few mistakes, but that's actually Skid, I think, that's actually had an incident there. I don't think he wouldn't have definitely had an incident there with Pete Crichton because Pete was a little bit further behind. Or around 2 seconds behind, I do believe. And now that moves the Brawn driver up into P8. Little tight battle still going here on between John Polainen and Rogue Flash. Could we potentially see some undercuts occurring? This is definitely the main battle on the racetrack at the moment between Sideshow Plebs and Purple Haze. Purple Haze has actually fallen off that little battle pack there. Loic has now got a 3-second time penalty, and P. Crichton is still going fastest. Just improving each lap he drives on. Only by little margins as well, so let's have a look to see. His fastest lap currently is 19.8, and there's only 2 drivers at the moment in the 1 minute 19s, and that's himself and Alpern, who's on a 19.9, so he's got a decent, well, a little margin between the what's the word? He's got a little margin between fastest laps at the moment. Now Skid is in the pits as well. Down, he's going to come out in P10. Now that's actually Plebs, so he's going to be the first one to blink here for the pit stops. He's going to be coming into the pits now, is Plebs, trying to make an undercut work on Sideshow Prod. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Sideshow Prod come into the pits this next lap to try and defend that undercut from Plebs. This will only be a 1-stop race. John Polainen now has got a 5-second, I should say, penalty. They're on lap 17 of 35. So where does Plebs come out? He comes out P6. Purple Haze has a 3-second penalty now in P3. Full multiple warning, so this is where Plebs is now. He's heading through turn 2, and Sideshow Pro is just heading into the twisty part of Sector 2. About to head into Sector 3. Around now, I do believe it is. No, it's actually after this corner, okay. Yeah, right here. So he is now heading into Sector 3. Sideshow Pro, there's yellow flag in Sector 2. Who's that? That's actually Plebs now that has had an incident on the exit of turn 5. So he's not going to be happy with that at all. He's Plebs. So now he's going to be dropping a lot of time here. So now as you can see, Purple Haze and Sideshow are in the pit lane. So now at this stage, I do believe that even potentially Chucky may come out ahead of Plebs. But Purple Haze will 100% come out ahead of Plebs at this stage. You have to watch P. Crichton as well to see where he comes out. Still another yellow flag in Sector 2. What's that for? So where does P. Crichton come out? He comes out in P2 at the moment. Ahead of Sideshow Pro. Purple Haze is right there as well. That's Chucky. So those two are actually going at it now. Actually, that is a ghost. That's actually Sergeant Cardio, I do believe, who is lapped. Sorry, I thought that was Chucky. But anyway. So this is not good for Plebs. He's actually had to come into the pits again for a front wing change. That's very unfortunate there for the McLaren driver. It's now Pete Cron. Is going to have a bit of a, what's the word? Pressure now from Sideshow Prod behind him. And it's still Pete Cron, Alpum I should say, who leads the way. At this stage, the longer he stays out, I do believe Pete Cron, he actually will. I think Pete Cron will come out in the lead of this Grand Prix, but he's going to have very, very warm tyres towards the end of this race. So this definitely will make it interesting. So they're about to head onto lap 20, is our race leader. He's heading through the second sector now. So there will be 15 laps remaining after this lap. He is now coming into the pits as our race leader. So that's Pete Cron heading through the middle sector now. So if I'm correct, most likely Pete Cron will come out in the lead. It will be definitely tight between Sideshow Prod, Purple Haze and Alpern. Anyway, as you can see, he is not even in his pit box yet, and Pete Cron is about to head into the penultimate corner. So as you can see, there he is. He's going to be doing a pit stop. No front wing change to that Brawn driver. Pete Cron's coming through the final corner now. This actually might be pretty tight here between Alpum and Pete Cron. I actually thought Pete would have had a pretty easy lead. That's actually Alpum. He's got a massive lead here. Not a massive lead, a pretty decent lead. I definitely thought it would be more than 25 seconds in the pit lane, but obviously it's less than 20. So that's pretty interesting. So Alpum is now going to come out in the lead pretty comfortably, and he's going to have Pete Cron between him and Sideshow Prod. Need to remember too, Pete did pit on the first or second lap, I do believe, due to making... because he had to make a front wing change. Definitely will be tight towards the end, especially between Pete Crichton, Sideshow Prod and Purple Haze. Because in theory, you would think that Sideshow would probably catch up to Pete Crichton, considering he does have fresher tyres. Let me know in the live chat who you think, or now your predictions are for the Grand Prix. I think Michael, what did Michael say? He said Alpern will win the race, then Purple Haze and Plebs. Going to run on board with Sideshow. He's going to take us for a lap of the Hungarian in the 2009, I think it is. Yes, it is 2009 blonde car. Now Pete Crichton's still going fastest. So he's definitely actually not feeling any tyre wear whatsoever. He's actually catching up to Alpern, as you can see. So could Pete Crichton be potentially going for the win? In other words, he's managed his tyre. He's still setting fastest laps. But anyway, Sideshow Prod is heading into turn 2 now. Runs a bit wide on entry, but gets it back to do a very nice late apex there. He's going to come down the short straight here under the Pirelli banner. He goes into turn 4. He goes. Has to make 2 turn-ins there, so he definitely turned in a little bit too early than I think he would have liked to. Runs a bit wide through turn 5, using all the exit curve. Now into turn 6 he goes, break the 50-meter board. Don't want to really mount that first curve, but mount the second curve normally. Into turn 8 he goes, mounts that curve. Turn 9, you have to be as patient as possible through that corner. Very easy to run it out too wide on exit. Through turn 11, same with this corner as well. Very easy to run it out wide if you're too eager on the gas. With this right hand now, very easy to throw the car wide if you use too much curve through the penultimate corner. Runs really wide there to Sideshow Prod, so that's not ideal. It will be costing him a bit of time. As the drivers are now heading onto lap 22, and that is a lap of the Hungarian on board with the Brawn driver of Sideshow Prod. Peter's legit on for a run with the win. Definitely is. I definitely would have thought he would be struggling with tyre wear, but he's actually lost now a little bit of time. He was within 9/10 of a second. There's actually a yellow flag now, so we're going to try and have a look what that was for. Now, Purple Haze is actually right on the rear of Sideshow Prod, but I'm going to try and find what this yellow flag was for. It might have been just a local yellow, to be honest. But anyway. Purple Haze is actually right now on the rear of Sideshow Prod. You would think that Red Bull would be pretty good through this twisty section. I feel like the Ferrari, I don't know, I don't think Ferrari is the ideal car to be in, to be honest, unless you're at like Monza maybe. That would be a good track for Ferrari. But I feel like Brawn is the all-round good car, to be honest. It's good through corners and it's good in straight line. The McLaren's better through corners, I do believe, and has decent straight line speed. The Red Bull is pretty good in the straight line and average in the corners, I would think. Chucky also got a 3-second penalty as well. But now that's Rogue Flash, who was retired from the session. So we're going to ride on board with Plebs to see what's actually happened to Rogue Flash. We're coming up to it now. It's in Sector 3. He has had that incident. He's actually passed him, so I think he's had a ghost car. Or I think he's gone off somewhere. So that's unfortunate there. We're going to try and see. I can't actually see his car, so I'm not too sure what's happened there with Rogue Flash. Now we only have 10 drivers remaining in the session. That is our 5th retirement in this Grand Prix. What's that other yellow flag for in Sector 1? Might have just been another local yellow. But Loic and Cardi at the moment are a lap down. Now Alpoon has gone fastest now with a 1 minute 19.162, I do believe. So now that's taken away Pete's fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Still that yellow flag in Sector 2. We're going to try and see what that is for. Actually, that is LASF1 Skid, who has had an incident, or a mistake I should say, again, and he's now just rage quit pretty much. He's had a mistake at the exit of turn 5. That's unfortunate for him. Alpoon now has a 3-second penalty, so I'm actually going to have a quick look as well, because I do believe Alpoon does have another penalty, but anyway. Actually, no, it was Pete. I think it was Pete that had a penalty. He did. Now, Sergeant Cardi is in the pit lane. And that was, I do believe, Lloyd trying to get out of the way there of the cars that are on the lead lap. Sideshow's now got another 3-second penalty, so now that's up to 6 seconds worth of penalties for the Red Bull driver. So I think Pete's tyres have unfortunately gone off a little bit now. So we could potentially see Sideshow now catch up with there's 11 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. Alpoon still setting fastest laps at the Grand Prix. I don't think... Actually, no, that is Pete Crichton now in the pit lane, so he has had to make another pit stop for a fresh set of tyres. So he could, if he gets out in a decent position, he'll be on very fresh set of tyres. So he will be going for the fastest lap. I don't think Chucky... It might be tight between him and Chucky. No, Chucky will get out ahead. So now John Polanin's also going to pass him. It will be tight between him and Plebs, though, potentially. Not Plebs, sorry. That was a Red Bull of Sergeant Cardi down in P10, who has been lapped. Yeah, tyre wear is kicking in for Pete now. Skid now has a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. But now, as there is 10 laps remaining in this Grand Prix, there's a yellow flag, and now that's Skid, who's unfortunately retired from the session. We're going to ride on board with his teammate, Loic. Oh, I couldn't see his car there, so I'm not too sure what's happened to the Red Bull of Skid. But anyway, with 10 laps remaining, and they're about to head onto lap 26 of 35. Alpoon leads the way, 7.6 seconds ahead of Sideshow Prod, who does have Purple Haze still right behind him in P3. LAS Chucky is sitting in P4 for Red Bull at the moment, doing a nice job there. Jump line in MP5 for McLaren, who's got a P Crichton on a fresh set of tyres at the moment, who's going to be going very quick towards the end of this race. In P6, Plebs is in P7 for McLaren. P8 is LAS F1 Loic, and rounding out the final of our runners at the moment. We have 6 retirements so far in this Grand Prix, with Sergeant Cardi coming home, as it stands, MP9. But definitely we're going to have to ride on board with Peters. He's going to go down the inside now of John Polainen, heading into turn 1. There's not real much point of John Polainen putting up a bit of a fight here, because Pete is on the faster tyre, or the fresher tyres I should say. It makes a bit more sense. Could potentially work in Pete's favour, or could potentially not. I don't think he'll be able to catch up to Purple Haze or Sideshow Prod, because there is, I'll have a look, I think there's actually a pretty big gap between him, sorry, LAS Chucky and Purple Haze. So this is Purple Haze heading through turn 10 now, and LAS Chucky hasn't even gone into turn 7 yet. He is now turn 7 and 8. That's Pete Crane there. He hasn't got too much of a gap to make up. It could be possible to get up to Purple Haze, and maybe, if he's really quick, but have to see how this does play out for the Mercedes driver. As you can see on the screens now, here is the Race Spec socials on the right hand side of your screen. Our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Go chuck that a follow as well to keep updated on all the announcements about the Race Spec F1 Esports league. So what's our subscriber count now? I'm going to quickly refresh it to see what it's at. Still sitting at 297, so we're 3 subscribers away from 300. So if you guys are new around here, please subscribe to the channel to get notified. And that's actually Sideshow Prod now with a 3-second time penalty, but I do believe that Purple Haze has 6 seconds worth of penalties, so it's not as bad for Sideshow, but if he gets another one, then that could potentially not work too much in his favour. We're going to have a quick look here at the race director. If I just click on that, it should tell me. So Alpoom has 1 warning, so he'll have 3 seconds. Sideshow actually has 2 penalties now, so he's at the same as Purple Haze, I do believe. So where's Purple Haze? He's got 1, 2. So he's at the same as Purple Haze at the moment. Let's have a look. I think Pete Crunn's only got 1. He's got 1 penalty there. He has only got 1 penalty. So currently the race is actually on now from Sideshow Prod and Purple Haze, because they are on equal penalties at the moment. Pete Crane is now right on the rear of Chucky. Just trying to break the slipstream there. Is the Red Bull driver. Will Pete dive down the inside? Will he do a Ricardo move? He is. He's going to dive down the inside. Is the Brawn driver. He doesn't get it pulled up though. Well, he does get it pulled up, but he pulled it up a bit too much, I think. Wasn't deep enough in the end. Thought about making a move into turn 2. He's definitely struggling there. Is Chucky. There's still yellow flags in Sector 2. I'm not too sure what that's for. That's actually Sergeant Cardi now, who's unfortunately spun around. He's going to be catching up to Alpoom now. This is actually going to be Sergeant Cardi's 2nd time being lapped. So he's going to be down a whole minute at the moment. Actually, it's going to be more than a minute. It's going to be around 1 minute and 50 seconds. Nearly 2 minutes down on the race lead. 7 laps remain in this Grand Prix, about to be 6. Sideshow's definitely edged that gap massively away from Purple Haze. Pete Crane still sitting behind Chucky. This is not going to be ideal for him, because the longer he sits behind Chucky, the less time he's going to have to catch up to Purple Haze. I don't think he'll be able to do it anyway, because there is 10 seconds between Chucky and Haze. He's going to be a bit closer than he was last lap this time. Is Pete Crane. He's going to be in the slipstream. He will be in Rich Mix with no doubt. He's going to go to the outside though. Is Pete Crane. He's going to try and hang it around the outside. Is Pete Crane. He's got the better tyre wear. Has Pete Crane. And he's going to have the better traction as well due to that better tyre wear. Moves himself into P4. Does Pete Crane. Yellow flag in Sector 1. I'm not too sure what that's for. Another local yellow, I do believe. Six laps remain in the Grand Prix. Chucky now has a 3-second time penalty. So I'll show. Purple Haze does have 6 seconds worth of penalty. So if Pete Crane can get within 3 seconds of Purple Haze, because he does have a 3-second time penalty himself. So I'd say around 2 seconds of Purple Haze, and I think he should be alright. Now Plebs is another 3-second time penalty down to MP7. His race has gone from bad to worse, really, after having that spin on his outlap of the pits. He's now sitting MP7, 24 seconds behind John Polainen, and now got another 3-second time penalty to add to his bad day. P. Crichton still going fastest with an 18.3, so he is definitely going to be catching up to Purple Haze. Sideshow actually made a bit of a mistake there through turn 2. P. Crichton could potentially, actually, if he catches up to Purple Haze, he could potentially even get Sideshow. Yellow flag behind us. I'm not too sure what that's for. I think the game's glitching out a little bit because it's local yellow. Actually, no, it's not. Who's that? That's LASF1 Loic, who has spun around in the exit of turn 1. I want to see how much Sergeant Cardi is actually behind the race leader at the moment. Sergeant Cardi is down 2 laps. As it is, you got a minute and 17 seconds between him and LASF1 Loic. So he's actually been lapped by Loic as well. So Sergeant Cardi's been lapped by the whole grid at least once. So everyone's lapped Sergeant Cardi twice. I'm kind of bullying Sergeant Cardi at the moment. I should stop. It's not very fair, but anyway. I'm just trying to work it out. But anyway. 4 laps remain. Alpum still leads the way ahead of Sideshow Prod. MP2. Purple Haze MP3 at the moment, who has a very fast charging P. Crichton behind him. This could come down to the final lap in the end. LAS Chucky is in P5 at the moment. 4 Red Bull. P6 is John Polainen. P7 is the other McLaren, or John Polanen's teammate. Plebs MP7. P8 is LAS F1 Loic, who is making another pit stop. I just want to see how many pit stops he's made. Will be his second pit stop. And then it is Sergeant Cardi, who is 2 laps down, MP9 at the moment. Alpum's about to head onto lap 32 of 35. 3 laps remain, including this one. He'll be heading onto lap 33 next lap. Sideshow starting lap 32 now. Pete's got that gap down to 4 seconds. He's definitely catching up to Purple Haze. But if he wants to get into P2, he'll have to get within 3 seconds of him and Sideshow Prod in the end. But I don't think that will. I think that will be very optimistic if he thinks he can do that. But anyway. I think if he can pass Purple Haze in the end, as you can see, this is Purple Haze heading into turn 4 now. There he goes, and now this is P. Crichton about to head into turn 4. It's 4 seconds of the gap at the moment. We're going to have a look at next lap to see what the gap is between those two at this same section. No real battles happening on track at the moment, but definitely the person to be watching will be P. Crichton to see if he is able to catch up to Purple Haze. Purple Haze will be getting notified every couple of seconds by Jeff what the gap is. LASF1 Loic has now got another 3-second time penalty. But currently the driver that's moved up the most positions in this race is John Polainen in MP7, so he will be looking at a good contention for driver of the day. As you can see now, Alpum has now started lap 33 of 35, and that's actually Sideshow, I think, just actually had a spin there, a half spin, heading through turn 1. Yeah, I think Sideshow, unfortunately, just had a little bit of a half spin there, heading through turn 1. Fortunately, he's got 7.3 seconds between him and Purple Haze. Heading through the second sector now does Alpum. Actually, I didn't look to see how much Pete had caught up, but it's got that gap down to 2 seconds now. So it's definitely going to be a very close one on the last lap of this Grand Prix. Get your popcorn ready, because we know that Pete will not sit behind Purple Haze. He will go for the dive bomb. If Purple Haze leaves the gap, and now they are heading on to the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, Pete will be pushing this car to the absolute limit. Alpoom still setting fastest laps of the Grand Prix, so he'll be taking home a full 26 points on the championship. Penultimate lap now. There's 2 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. I think Pete will definitely catch up to him, but I don't know if he will be able to pass him. It will be very tough. I don't think Purple Haze will want to give up that position very easily. I'll say if Pete can make it onto the podium, it will be a brawn 1, 2, 3 as well. Alpoom also got a 3-second time penalty as well. So that's up to 6 seconds worth now, I do believe, for our race leader, but he does have a big enough gap between him and Sideshow in the end. He's about to start the final lap of the Grand Prix as our race leader, but we're definitely going to have to ride on board with Pete Klein. He's got that gap down to 1.2 seconds. He will have one more lap after this. After he completes this lap, to get ahead of Purple Haze. He's run really wide there, has Purple Haze. He definitely does not want to be making any mistakes. Does a Red Bull driver. I think he's going to have to be, it'll be right on him at the end of the lap. But Alpoom does start the final lap of the Grand Prix. There was 0.8 of a second between these two. This will be the battle for the final spot on the podium between Pete Klein on the fresh set of tyres and Purple Haze on really old tyres. Pete's been charging up to Purple Haze. He's going to charge up 10 seconds within 5 laps, 6 laps. No one's really closer than these two at the moment. That's 0.4 of a second between these two. You see how much more speed Pete Klein is carrying through the corners than Purple Haze. He's just got that much more grip. It's going to be tough now for Pete Klein because he's didn't actually catch him at a spot that I think he would have really liked to, because now he's going to have a lot of... He's actually made a mistake now with Pete Klein. He's did a half spin. He was too ambitious on the accelerator. So that's unfortunate for Pete Klein. Now it looks like Purple Haze, unless he makes a mistake, it looks like Purple Haze will come home in P3. But Alpoom's rounding out the final corner, and he's going to take home the Spec Esports 2010 Classic Series here in Hungary. Congratulations to Alpoom. Sideshow Prod comes around the final corner now. He's going to come home in P2 for Brawn. But banking it a Brawn 1-2, and the looks of it, there will be Purple Haze that will come home P3 for Red Bull. Nice job there from Purple Haze, but he's actually, no, Pete Klein, I forgot about penalties. So now it's actually Pete Klein that is going to come home P3 in the end, making it a Brawn 1-2-3. Purple Haze will have to settle for P4. Jumper line and P5. P6 is LAS Chucky. P7 will be Plebs when he negotiates this final section of corners. Congratulations to the Brawn GP team. That's definitely going to edge him up a lot on the championship. That is your Spec Esports 2010 PS4 Classic Series. Congratulations to all our place getters. And our podium getters as well. Now here's the provisional results here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Alpoom takes home the win. Every driver on the grid pretty much had a penalty, so not a surprise really. Sideshow Prod going to come home P2 for Brawn. Congratulations to the Brawn team coming home for a 1-2-3. P4 was Purple Haze, P5 Jump Line, and P6 LAS Chucky. P7 will be Plebs in the McLaren after that spin. That's unfortunate for him. P8 will be Sergeant Cardi, and the final driver that ended up finishing was LAS F1 Loic in P9, and unfortunately we had 6 retirements in this Grand Prix, them being Skid, Rogue Flash, Flogger Woggles, Alex, TSR Verstappen and Felipe. But that has been the Spec Esports PS4 2010 Classic Series. If you guys are new around here, please do subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to get notified when the live stream goes live. But my name is Expert, and I will see you guys next time.